Well, folks, tonight, two of the Democrats' loudest voices just got absolutely wrecked. Jasmine Crockett's so-called secret past, it's out in the open now. They carefully staged her image she's been selling for years. That image, ladies and gentlemen, has finally been shattered. And her furious meltdown when the truth came to light, folks, it's about to go viral at lightning speed. And that is not all, because while Jasmine Crockett is scrambling to hold her facade together, Al Green, he ain't 22 years old, the 22-year Democrat incumbent, the same man who tried twice and failed to impeach Trump, he has just been erased off the political map. Gone. Finished. His entire district redrawn right out from under him. And here's the kicker, guys. These two collapses, they are connected. This is not random. This is a part of a massive political earthquake sweeping the country, starting from Texas, but going across all 50 states. Tonight, you're going to see exactly why Jasmine Crockett's exposure matters way beyond her fake eyelashes and her viral sound bites, and why Al Green's removal signals the beginning of something that Democrats have feared for years. The systemic dismantling of their power structure, is happening. So we're talking about redistricting that flips the entire states, guys. Hypocrisy that cannot be ignored, and a new era where America first isn't just a slogan, it's the law of the land. So, folks, I want to go ahead and set the stage early. Donald J. Trump sits in the White House and he's not playing, okay? This is what he really means, okay? The balance of power in Washington is shifting like we've never seen before. In fact, two Democrats who once strutted across the stage like some untouchable rock stars or Hollywood icons, they're now watching their careers crumble in real time. Jasmine Crockett, humiliated as her secret past is dragged into the spotlight, and Al Green, the 22-year congressman who built his brand on opposing Trump and basically trying to impeach Trump every other week. Yeah, he literally got erased off the map. By the way, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support, guys. The stakes could not be any higher. So question is, are we watching justice finally catch up with two political frauds? Or has the pendulum swung so hard that it's obliterating anyone who dares stand in the way of America first? I think it's one of the two. Y'all let me know what you think it is, but that's the battle that you need to decide tonight. So let's start with Jasmine Crockett's so-called secret past. For years, she's wrapped herself in the image of being a fighter from the hood, a tough, streetwise warrior for her people, right? But here's the truth. She didn't grow up in the struggle that she claims to embody. The struggle wasn't real for her. No, Jasmine Crockett was raised in privileged, educated in private schools that you had to pay for. Yeah. And by all accounts, lived a life that was probably quite far away from the ghetto, actually. Okay. And completely removed from this ghetto act that she now parades in front of cameras. So I don't know if she took, acting lessons from Gavin Newsom while she was in California. Who knows? But just kind of roll the tape in your mind, right? Just 3 years ago, before her congressional run, she spoke like any polished young lawyer, very articulate, professional, eager to make a difference, right? That was actually one of her phrases. And so somewhere along the line, she ditched that voice for a new one. She decided to change her identity. Suddenly, every sentence is laced with slang. Her nails are longer. Her eyelashes are faker. The persona is louder. This isn't authenticity. This is theater. This is just entertainment. So the tension here, gang, is Jasmine Crockett truly representing her community, or is she performing a caricature to climb the political ladder? Is she leveraging this type of behavior because she thinks that that's the type of people who would vote for her? And if she is, she's playing everyone, or at least she's playing people who believe that's the real her. Because when the mask slips, the audience, they feel betrayed. And make no mistake, that mask is slipping right now. But this is just the opening shot, guys, because I want to show you guys how Megyn Kelly absolutely eviscerated Jasmine Crockett on live television, completely exposing her noise without substance and just pretty much setting off the meltdown that has gone viral across America. And after that, I'm going to go even deeper into the scandals that just got revealed about Jasmine Crockett and who she really is. It's kind of like the the same skeletons in AOC's closet that were ultimately pulled out. Comment down below if you happen to have caught that Benny Johnson episode where he exposed AOC. It's the same thing happening again. So what do you want your grandkids to remember about you? It's a serious question. That you struggled with bills and coverage headaches, or that you had the wisdom to secure your retirement so that you could actually focus on family. Well, guys, this is exactly why I partnered with Chapter. They help people to align their coverage with their values, their family first, financial freedom, and peace of mind. Now, one of our viewers, she said, Chapter gave me the peace of mind to focus on my grandkids, not paperwork. I absolutely love it. So let me ask you, what's your legacy going to be? Most people are already securing theirs by calling the number at the bottom of your screen right now, or they're visiting askchapter.org/Ron and getting the Medicare help, advice, and discounts that they absolutely deserve. And it's completely free for the Ron Yates community. Phone number is down below at 909-563-8279. This is probably going to be the best 60 seconds you've ever spent. So when Megyn Kelly locked in on Jasmine Crockett, it wasn't just a critique, it was a complete dismantling. I mean, if you've ever heard Megyn Kelly go in, this woman goes in, okay? Kelly, she cut through the shouting, the exaggerated gestures, the grandstanding that Crockett has made her signature. She pointed out the obvious truth. Noise is not power. Volume is not evidence. And the sound of your own voice doesn't equal authority. Now, Crockett, she built her whole brand on confusing outrage with substance. And in that moment, Kelly exposed it for what it really was. It was theater without policy, performance without depth. The viral clips, they speak for themselves. In the oversight committee, Crockett lashed out with insults, drawing these headlines for her fake eyelash, her outbursts instead of meaningful arguments. Late night hearings turned into spectacles where she mistook dramatic flair for leadership. I mean, Megyn Kelly, she highlighted the pattern, showing that beneath all the theatrics, there was nothing of consequence. Just a politician addicted to the spotlight and desperate for some clicks and for some retweets. So the effect was devastating. What was supposed to make Jasmine Crockett look like a bold fighter, it instead left her looking more like an unserious fake fraud out for her depth and unprepared to lead. So the more she tried to defend herself with volume and emotion, the more she proved Megyn Kelly's point that there was no real strategy. She never had a vision, and this was just all pure impulse. And then, my friends, came one of the ugliest examples of hypocrisy that just cut through even her loyal supporters. Okay, so Crockett, who pretty much wraps herself in the language of justice and fairness and equality, mocked Texas Governor Greg Abbott for his disability, sneering at him as Governor Hot Wheels. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up as a kid, my mom told me that, even if you're just kidding, there's certain people you don't make fun of. And I don't know about you, but you let me know in the comments, were you raised in such a way where you were taught not to make fun of the disabled? Well, this woman apparently wasn't taught that, or she ignored that lesson. This is the same Crockett who hides behind identity politics whenever criticized, insisting that opposition to her is rooted in race or gender rather than ideas. Yet here she is, openly demeaning a man who's in a wheelchair. I mean, does it get any lower than that, guys? Drop a yes in the comments. That contradiction is impossible to ignore. I mean, on one side, Jasmine Crockett claims to be the defender of the vulnerable, the voice of those who have been overlooked. Now, on the other side, she resorts to cheap shots and personal attacks that pretty much just undercut her entire image. It isn't just hypocrisy. This is a revelation about character here, guys. She's exposing herself and letting us know who she really is. If she's really willing to weaponize another person's disability just to get a quick laugh, what does that say about the sincerity of her fight for justice? You see what I'm saying here, guys? Her critics are arguing that this moment just stripped away any doubt anyone ever had about her. It showed that the polished speeches and carefully cultivated image, it's just that. It's a brand. It's a facade. It's a fake. It's not a belief system. And the longer she leans on these contradictions, the more she alienates the very people that she claims to represent. So Jasmine Crockett's record in Congress, it only deepens the doubts about her credibility. I mean, for all the noise that she makes, for all the viral clips that generate headlines, there is very little substance when you look at what she's actually accomplished. What has she done? She hasn't done anything. The legislative portfolio is very thin. The results for her constituents are meager at best. And what stands out instead is this pattern that we keep seeing. She's always front and center when the cameras are rolling. She's always the loudest mouth in the room, always angling for the soundbite, always pushing her personal brand above the hard, unglamorous work of governing. And it doesn't stop at the policy level, because behind the scenes, Jasmine Crockett has developed a reputation for being difficult with her own staff. I mean, reports are constantly coming out, circulating about her, how she treats her aides like props and like second-class citizens, peasants, even forcing young male staffers to, get this, carry her heavy handbag around as if their role was to support her image rather than the office of the people. So these stories, they're all feeding into the larger perception of a politician who sees herself less as a representative and more as a celebrity. Kind of raises the central question, is she truly serving her district, or is she just serving herself? So while Crockett was being exposed for her lack of substance, Al Green, not the singer Al Green from the 60s and 70s, Al Green of Texas was being erased from the Texas redistricting map entirely. After more than 2 decades of Congress, his district in Houston, Texas was redrawn in a way that made it unwinnable for him. So what was once a Kamala Harris plus 44 stronghold flipped overnight to a Trump plus 20 district, a staggering 64-point swing. This is the largest single transformation in Texas political history, folks. Now, for Green, it was devastating. Al Green openly admitted that his political base had been carved out from under him. Now, the people who had kept him in office for 22 years, they now found themselves in districts that were controlled by Republicans. His opinions, yeah, well, we already know where he stands, but his options are now reduced down to nothing. Run in a district where he had no support network, or just go ahead and step aside altogether. So after spearheading 2 failed impeachments of President Trump, his career ended not with a dramatic showdown, but with a quiet erasure by a new political map. Now, for Al Green's critics, it was poetic justice. A man who built his entire reputation on opposing Trump was undone by the very structural forces that Trump and his allies helped to unleash. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Now, for supporters, it was ruthless. A surgical elimination of a long-serving Democrat through the redistricting knife. Either way, no matter how you look at it, the effect is the same. Al Green is gone. His career is finished. His district has been completely transformed. And so what happened in Texas with Al Green, it's not an isolated story. In fact, it is the opening shot for what is being called the most consequential redistricting war since the Reconstruction. I mean, Texas alone contributed 5 Republican pickups by redrawing its map. But it doesn't stop there, guys. Florida, anybody watching from Florida, comment down below where you're watching from, guys. Florida is targeting 4 seats, count them, 4 seats. Ohio is working on 2, possibly 3 seats. Missouri, Indiana, Kansas, and Louisiana, they're all pushing and pursuing additional Republican gains. And looming over everything is the Supreme Court, which is preparing to rule on whether racially gerrymandered districts under the Voting Rights Act can continue. So if those are struck down, as many as 25 Democrat seats across the country could vanish and disappear overnight. So this is why Democrats like Gavin Newsom are desperately trying to redraw California yet again, hoping to squeeze out a handful of seats to offset the bleeding, but it's bad. I mean, the math is not in their favor. As they say, the math ain't mathing, okay? Even if Gavin Newsom succeeds, Republicans still end up with a net gain. The structural advantage is shifting, and it's shifting really fast. In fact, this is leaving Democrats with fewer and fewer places to hide. Now, for the Progressive Coalition, this moment is devastating. Jasmine Crockett was supposed to be the new face, the loud defender who could essentially rally the base with firebrand theatrics. Well, she's been doing some firebrand theatrics, all right, I'll tell you that much. Al Green was supposed to be the elder statesman, the reliable voice of opposition to Trump. In the span of weeks, both have been neutralized. One exposed as a fraud with a very shallow record, and the other one erased from Congress entirely. And so here we are, guys. The progressive playbook of grievance politics, identity shields, and viral spectacles, it has run headfirst into a Republican Party that is now playing the long game. Maps, courts, and structural power are reshaping the battlefield. What Democrats once dismissed as temporary Trumpism is now becoming an entrenched political reality. Crockett's collapse and Al Green's removal, these are more than personal stories. These are symbols of a coalition that's losing its grip on Trump's America. So Donald J. Trump enters this moment stronger than ever. I mean, his approval rating sits higher than Barack Obama's at the same point in his second term. The Republican Party, backed by these redistricting victories, they're now holding these structural advantages that Democrats cannot easily overcome. So before these changes, Republicans already had 212 safe seats. Add in the pickups from Texas and Florida and Ohio, and the GOP doesn't even need swing districts to hold the majority. The map itself has been redrawn to secure an America First future, folks. So this is the insurance policy against Democrat comebacks. Even if progressive activists pour millions into swing states, I mean, even if the media ramps up its media outrage machine, the foundation is sitting red. Or at a minimum, it's tilting red for sure. And so the combination of President Trump's enduring popularity and the dismantling of Democratic strongholds, it's producing something very rare in American politics, a generational realignment. So this kind of brings us back to Jasmine Crockett and Al Green. Crockett's secret past has been dragged into the open. Her carefully curated image has been demolished by her own words and her own actions. Her meltdown on live TV just confirmed what critics have been suspecting all along. Behind the performance, there's nothing of substance. Al Green, after 22 years in Congress, has been forced out altogether. His district is completely gone. His career is over. So here's a question you kind of have to wrestle with yourself. Is this justice finally being served for politicians who built their careers on fraud, hypocrisy, fakeness, and theatrics? Or has the pendulum swung so far that entire careers can now be eliminated by the redistricting pen and the power of exposure? I don't know. Either way, the reality is very clear. The Democratic Party has lost two of its most recognizable voices in one stroke. The Progressive Coalition, it looks even weaker than it has in decades if you think about it. And President Trump's America First movement, it now stands not just as a populist wave, but as the dominant structure shaping Congress for years to come. Crockett's secret past is no longer hidden. It's out in the open. Her meltdown is burned into the public's imagination. Al Green has been removed. His political obituary written by the maps of Texas. The era of performance politics is ending, and a new reality is taking hold. I mean, the only question left is whether this is the collapse of a movement or is it just the beginning of something even bigger? YouTube thinks you're going to absolutely love the video that just popped up on your screen, and I happen to agree with them. Click that video, and I'll see you on the other side.